is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV Prime.
Hello and welcome. You are watching The Property Show. This is the show where our expert gives you the best buys in your budget. Where to buy your dream home or where to invest for better returns. You ask and we answer. To do so, I have with me in the studio Akash Bansal, Business Head North and Director of Lysis for us. Welcome to the show, Akash.
Thank you, Anjali.
But before we start taking your calls, let's take a look at the headlines. In an exclusive chat with NDTV, CEO of India's largest housing finance company, HDFC, says that real estate will soon see a turnaround. Despite centre's push, will states be able to meet the deadline to set up real estate regulator? Your best bets along the Noida Expressway in 80 lakhs. Pocket-friendly options in Faridabad. Prime property in Mumbai in a crore plus budget. A day ahead of the BMC elections, a group of Mumbaikars write their own manifesto and get political candidates to acknowledge it. Let's begin with the million-dollar question of the real estate industry. Is it time to buy? Well, the Vice Chairman and CEO of India's largest housing finance company, HDFC, Keki Mistry, believes it is. Mistry says that time has come for the real estate sector to see a turnaround.
What impacts the sentiment of consumers when they're buying a property is not even that much interest rates. Though, again, interest rates are at the lowest in the last many years. If you say the last 5, 6, 7 years, interest rates for housing loans have never been as low as they are today. How much low they will go from here, I don't know. I don't know if there is that much scope for rates to come down. So, from an interest rate perspective, this is a great time to buy a property. But I think what is most important is the feeling that people must have regarding property prices. From July of 2009 to March of 2010, there was a boom in property prices. So the first thought prices came down, then they slowly went up. They probably went up 3, 4, 5%. And when people who had held back on their purchase, expecting prices to keep falling, they started seeing that prices had actually started beginning to rise. Everyone sort of rushed in to buy a house. And the period of 9 months from July 09 to March 10 saw a massive increase in property prices. In my whole career, in any 9-month period, I've never seen property prices increase the way they did at that time. So it's all to do with sentiments. I think this government has a massive focus on the housing market. There are so many things that this government has done to encourage people to buy houses, fiscal benefits, subsidy schemes, infrastructure status for housing, that to my mind, people can hold back on their purchase for a little while, but ultimately, housing is a basic necessity in India and people will come back to, in a big way, to buy houses.
From buying, let's move on to buyer protection. Barely 2 months to go before all states are expected to implement real estate rules, and only 5 states have managed to notify final rules so far. The latest being Rajasthan, which has appointed the Real Estate Regulatory Authority. So while the Real Estate Regulatory Act is expected to commence operation by May 2017, even states around National Capital Region such as Haryana are far from notifying the rules. Given the current delay, will states be able to meet the deadline? To discuss more on this issue, we are joined by Abhay Upadhyay, National Convener for Fight for RERA. Abhay, what do you think? The deadline is coming close, it's inching close. Do you have faith that the states will be able to implement it?
Yeah, hi Anjali, good evening. See, it appears very difficult that by deadline all the states will be able to notify final rules or appoint regulator, and we really don't know that why this, at least for notifying final rules, there is already template from the Ministry of HUPA which has notified the final rules for union territories. That is there So, but taking so much of a time for notifying final rules is beyond our understanding, and also notifying for regulatory authority, there's considerable delay now, and I don't think any states can catch up the way things are moving.
But if I'm not wrong, Abhay, you are not just sitting by and watching this. You launched a Twitter campaign as well. And I was also constantly getting tagged in this. There was a hashtag, diluted RERA is no RERA. So do you feel you were able to build up some pressure on the government?
Well, Anjali, we have already started our campaign for RERA. And on 7th of November last year, we visualized that there is a problem coming ahead, and there will be dilution in via real estate rules. So we wrote letter to Prime Minister. After that, Ministry of UPA has taken steps. They called meeting of Housing Secretary and Principal Secretary of all states. Then Honorable Housing Minister has written letter to all chief ministers saying that they need to appoint a regulator and that they cannot dilute RERA. However, despite all these steps taken by the government, we are not seeing anything forthcoming from any of the states which have diluted RERA rules, that they are revoking that rules and they're coming out with fresh rules. So now we have no other option but to build up the pressure on the government. We want to make the government aware that this is a very serious concern for us, and we think we have a goal to achieve, that we want uniform, strict and undiluted RERA to be implemented all across India. And who better than the Prime Minister to take certain decisive steps, and he has to assert himself, and he has to also understand that people are looking up to him, and we hope that he will take, we have given some suggestions in yesterday's shooting program, and out of that main suggestions was to call Chief Ministers meeting of all states to impress upon them that there is a need for uniform and strict RERA all across India in lines with the rules formulated by Ministry of UPA. And then there is also a suggestion in case that state governments or the builders, because this is all happening in collusion with builders, it is they who are pressurizing state governments to dilute rules, because it cannot be just a coincidence that all the states who have notified final rules are diluting only in favor of one stakeholder, and that is builder.
Okay, so you're saying diluting of the rules. What exactly do you mean by that? What are the points that you have an issue with?
See, first and foremost, any of the rules, if you see, they have tried to exclude somehow on some pretext ongoing projects. Like Gujarat has altogether excluded ongoing project, and they have come with a notification saying that it will be only projects which are launched after 1st November will be covered, 2016 will be covered. Similarly, UP has come out with a new definition for ongoing project, which they are not supposed to. There is no such power in Section 84 of the Act, and they have listed four conditions to be fulfilled, which was not required, which was not there in the Act, and they have no power to notify such rules. Now, similarly, if you see even the rules notified for Delhi for urban development by Urban Development Ministry, even they have diluted, and they have mentioned that all those pending cases will not be given on the website. Only those cases which has been disposed of, only those cases will be mentioned as a disclosure. Now, this is a big lacuna. Now, similarly, there is a problem with regard to what are the plans which builder will submit, what is specification, what will be the timeline for completion which they will submit in case of ongoing project, because projects are delayed by more than 10 years now. So builders is only supposed to give a futuristic timeline, right, or are they supposed to let the regulator know that my timeline was, say, 8 years back? So all these are serious concerns, and we hope that the government answers this and take decisive steps with regard to strict implementation of RERA.
So we are seeing a hesitation amongst the states in implementing RERA as such. But the ones that have shown the initiative, as we just said, that Rajasthan is the last one to do so. Have you had the time to look at it? Do you feel that this is also not good enough?
Well, Rajasthan has only notified a regulator. Anjali, they have not notified the final rules as of now. And I have seen the draft rule which they have notified. That was only the 24th June draft rule of HOOPA. That had many serious concerns, which we finally managed to set things right in the 31st October rules notified by HOOPA. So I really don't know what kind of a final rules they are considering and what suggestion they have got from people there. But only appointing regulator will not serve the purpose at all, because you cannot implement act unless until it is backed by proper rules.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us, Abhay. We hope that the government realizes that RERA is something that they really need to work on, since they need to bring back the buyer and the customer who's already lost faith. Thank you so much for speaking with us.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Anjali. Thank you. Yeah.
Let's move on. Let's go ahead with our first caller. We have Vinay Agarwal with us. Vinay, please go ahead and ask your question.
Hi. So I'm looking for property in Noida, and I have a budget of 80 lakhs made. And to be honest, I have an eye on the JP project near the expressway. I would want your suggestions if it is worth investing in.
So I'm assuming you're talking about JP Classic, as you mentioned in your email. Akash, what do you think about the area and JP Classic?
See, this Noida Expressway market is one of the most promising residential market across NCR, and even in Noida, it's considered as one of the good micro market to invest into. And when we talk about employment generation and all, there's a lot of employment generation around this particular micro market. If we talk, if we count a couple of good companies which has actually started operations or are in the verge of starting operations, one of them is Advent IT Park, Unitech Infospace, HCL Tech Park, NSL Tech Zones. So all these have set up their base, and they are actually operating through this particular micro market. So this is considered as one of the good micro market to invest into. When we talk about number, this particular micro market has around 42 projects with the unsold inventory of around 14,200 units. Weighted average price here ranges around 5,300 rupees per square feet, and this micro market has seen upward of 3% per annum annual growth in last 3 years. Now coming down to your preferred project, which is Wishtown Classic. So this is by JP Group, and JP Group has been into the news for quite some time, and because of the financial crunch in the company, and recently we heard that they have sold their cement sector to somebody, to Ultratech. And because of these particular reasons, all the JP projects has been on delays, and moreover there has been a lot of discounts being offered in JP Towns project. So my suggestion is that you should opt for you should not opt for under construction property in JP Classic. If you are getting some ready project, then you can invest into that. Apart from that, we can recommend you a couple of good options which are either ready to move in or nearing completion. One of them is Vivante by Gulshan Homes, and the second one is Purvanchal Royal Park by Purvanchal Group. So both these projects are ready project and recently completed in 2015 or 16. So these are good projects to invest into.
So very importantly, if you are opting for JP Classic, please don't go for an under construction project. You might have to wait for a long time. But the options that Akash is offering you here, please take a look at them, closer look at them. We have Vivante, which is from Gulshan Homes, and the price range that you're getting here is from 5,000 to 5,200 rupees per square foot. This is an all-inclusive price, and the unit size that you're getting here for 3 BHK is 1,560 square foot. The other option that we've got for you is Purvanchal Royal Park from the Purvanchal Group. The price over here is 5,500 rupees per square foot. Again, an all-inclusive price, and the unit size for a 3 BHK is 1,315 square foot. This is a ready-to-move-in property, so you can invest in this as well. Let's move on to our next question. Ashutosh Singh has sent his question through email. His budget is 35 lakhs. He's looking for a flat in Faridabad or Greater Faridabad area. He has a couple of conditions. He wants ready-to-move-in property, good quality. He wants good livability factor, should be a green space, and he wants it near schools and hospitals.
Okay. So basically, I think in proper Faridabad area, 35 lakh budget would be on a lower side, and moreover, whatever things you are looking for, and there's a limited inventory of new projects in proper Faridabad area. So then you should actually look in for Greater Faridabad area, which has ample number of ready to move in and under construction properties. And when we talk about ready to move in, there are many builders who had started the projects way back 2005 2006, and now has given possessions, so you can opt for those. And when we talk about infrastructure, so because of lack of infrastructure and lack of proper connectivity at present, the pricings are at the lower side, and you can say that this is one of the lowest price range in the entire NCR region. So but in the time to come, because of the larger inventory, larger developers, so this infrastructure is likely to improve, and there are number of schools or number of hospitals is likely to come up in this particular micro market, and moreover infrastructure is improving, road connectivity is improving, so you can look for Greater Faridabad area. So when we talk about number, this particular micro market has around 63 projects with a unsold inventory of around 4,600 units. The weighted average price here ranges around 3,800 rupees per square feet, and the area has seen a negative of 1.4% per annum growth in last 3 years. So your budget is lower from a 3 BHK's point of view, so you should either look at smaller 3 BHK or a larger 2 BHK size. So we'll recommend you a couple of good options which are either ready to move in or nearing completion. One of them is Puri Pratham, which is by Puri Constructions, and this is a ready project and you will get in a resale market. Second one is Omax New Heights by Omax. This is also a ready project, you will get in a resale market. The third one is a Platinum Plus by KLJ Group. This is also a ready project, recently completed in 2015, so you can buy any of these 3 projects.
So let's take a closer look at these 3 projects. What are the rates you're getting over there? First up is Puri Pratham, and the price range over there is 3,200 rupees per square foot. If you buy a 2 BHK, as Akash told you, your budget might limit you to a 2 BHK. If you take a 2 BHK, the unit size is 1,100 rupees per 1,100 square foot. And the other option that we've got for you is Omax New Height. This is your second option. The price range that you're getting in Omax New Height is 3,400 rupees to 3,600 rupees per square foot. Again, a 2 BHK for you, and the unit size that you're getting is 1,100 square foot. This is a ready to move in project. The third option that you have where you can invest is Platinum Plus from KLJ Group, and the price range is 3,450 rupees all inclusive, and again a 2 BHK unit for you with a size of 930 square foot. So you can opt for any one of these as they all fall in your budget. Let me remind you, if you are looking to buy a property or need any advice on buying or selling a home, then write to us at property@ndtv.com. Please don't forget to leave your full name and contact number so that our team can get in touch with you. Let's move ahead with the big news. In a big jolt to Unitech, the Supreme Court directed it to pay a fine equivalent to 14% a year of the principal deposited by 39 buyers from 2010 onwards. This in addition to returning the principal amount. That means Unitech has to pay out 14% a year for every year from 2010 on the principal amount of 16.5 crore rupees deposited by 39 flat buyers. The Apex Court has directed that Unitech pay at least 90% of the total amount to these buyers within 8 weeks. Last October, the Apex Court asked the developer to return 16.5 crore rupees to the 39 flat buyers in this Vista project. Senior advocate A.M. Singhvi appeared for Unitech and told the court that construction was underway on the 39 buyers' flats and that they would be handed over to them in this April. He also pleaded with the Supreme Court to grant 6 months to the firm to complete the project. It's time for a short break now, but coming up on the show, prime property options in one of the best performing property markets of Mumbai and top housing projects along the IT corridors of Bangalore.